such a great opening night, but for most of the league, it's tonight that marks the start of the NBA regular season. So this is our last chance, guys, to make some 2021 award predictions. First up, I want to know who you guys got for most valuable player. Caesars William Hill has Luka Doncic as the front runner, just ahead of reigning two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. So Vince, who's your pick?
I mean, that's a great list. You look at that list, but I'm going to say Durant's going to come back with a vengeance to prove that he's one of the best in this league. And I think we forget how prolific of a scorer he is. I mean, he showed, we're like, oh, is he back? Is he back? Let me tell you something. What he was doing and how easy he scored over whoever. It didn't matter if you were 7 feet or 6'5", he was scoring at will, and we're going to see that all year.
Well, I don't have a problem with your pick, Vince, but Kevin Durant, you had your turn. LeBron James, you had your turn. Steph, Giannis, y'all had y'all turn. James Harden, move out the way. It is Anthony Davis' turn, and I got him picked to win the MVP this season.
Well, look, Anthony Davis also a big candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. In fact, he is the front runner, according to Caesars William Hill. He's followed by Gobert, Giannis, Bam Adebayo. So, Perk, are you picking him for both? Are you picking him for Defensive Player of the Year and MVP?
Well, no, Rachel, I thought Anthony Davis should have won it last year, so I'm going with Bam Adebayo. Yes, I said Adebayo. I don't never pronounce his name right. Get what I'm saying? He is a guy that could guard 1 through 5. He's a great rim protector. I love the way he anchors that Miami Heat defense, and I'm expecting big things out of Bam defensively this year for the Miami Heat.
And I'm going to go with Anthony Davis on this, and I agree with Perk. I think he was supposed to win last year. He feels like he was supposed to win. His team feels like he was supposed to win, and they have a great chance to go back-to-back with the title. So I think with him now slowly getting the keys to being the go-to guy, I think he's going to be the anchor to their team and make a huge difference. And I think he wants to prove that he was supposed to win it last year to go with that championship.
All right, let's hit Rookie of the Year next, guys. Caesars William Hill gives LaMelo Ball the best odds of winning that award, followed by Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, and Obi Toppin. So, Vince, you won Rookie of the Year in '99. Who is your pick to win Rookie of the Year 22 years later?
I mean, in my heart, I want to say Anthony Edwards, because I don't think Minnesota has enough firepower to make the playoffs. So with that being said, it turns to LaMelo Ball. And so it's a slash. I say Anthony Edwards, but I think LaMelo has a better chance to get his team into the playoffs.
Right.
If you would, in the East.
That's part of it, though.
So, I mean, that's gonna speak volumes, obviously, for that award. So it turns to LaMelo.
Yeah.
Well, I love LaMelo. I think he's exciting, but he's not going to win the Rookie of the Year. I got to go with James Wiseman. Watching this kid last night, he scores so easy. He can score. He finishes well around the basket. He got a nice touch around, a nice 15-footer, nice post moves, and in this offense that the Golden State Warriors have around, so much attention is around Steph. He's going to get buckets, especially when Draymond Green gets back. So I got James Wiseman. I got a soft spot for the big man.
You do, Perk. And look, I don't really give predictions, guys, because it takes some of my joy. One of my joy of watching the NBA is that I don't know how it's going to go. But I do have to agree with you, Vince. He's an MVP picks and odds and everything like that. He's Kevin Durant, and the Nets are set up to be pretty amazing. I just think he's going to be in that conversation.
There was no hesitation today.
None.
There was no hesitation on the court.
All right, coming up, NBA legend Tim Hardaway Sr. dropping by to talk about, his son Tim Hardaway Jr.'s Dallas Mavericks team, his old Mavericks team, tipping off their season.
Okay, we have some breaking news out of Houston this morning. The Rockets in the NBA are now reviewing video of James Harden partying maskless at a strip club to determine if he violated the league's COVID-19 protocols, putting the All-Stars availability for tonight's season opener in question, sources telling our Tim McMahon. Now, that video was published by Black Sports Online. It purportedly was from a Houston strip club's Christmas party that was held this week. And this is all, guys, coming off of yesterday's report where, according to The Athletic, Harden had multiple verbal confrontations with teammates at practice, also threw a ball at Jae'Sean Tate. So, Max, I want to start with you here. Are all of these off-the-court actions by Harden going to affect his trade value?
No, I don't really think so, because I think everyone knows what he's doing. Unless teams are looking, going, well, if he's not happy here, he'll pull the same thing. He's not being accommodated. This is their leverage. So it's pretty clear Harden's acting out in order to get an effect. Stephen A., whether or not how much that affects his trade value, I'll leave to you. I'll tell you what I think has absolutely affected his trade value. I mentioned off the top of the show, if I were the Nets, I would not trade for Harden. Not because he's not a great player, but because their depth really showed itself yet last night, the way they shared the ball, the whole thing. I'll tell you who else I wouldn't trade if I were another team. I wouldn't trade Ben Simmons for James Harden. Not after last night, Stephen A., because if you watch the Brooklyn Nets, there's one guy on the Sixers that you're like, okay, there's no defending Kevin Durant, but the guy who can do the best possible job is Ben Simmons, who I thought, when active, was the best defender in the world last year. If I'm the Sixers and I'm watching KD last night, and I'm going, he's already at least 80% KD, we're going to need Ben Simmons on that cat, right? And I'm not trading Embiid, so what does that leave you with? Spare parts? So I think right now, after last night and the way KD looked, especially in the way the Nets looked, if I were the Nets, I wouldn't trade for him. If I were the Sixers, I wouldn't give up Simmons for him. If his trade value is going down, I think it's based on that stuff, on-court considerations after last night, more than it is on his misbehavior off the court in order to force a trade.
Well, first of all, let me say a couple of things. Number one, if you talk to the Houston Rockets, they will tell you they're not getting the quality offers for James Harden that one would anticipate from a league-leading scorer over the last 3 years who averaged over 30. They expected better offers. They're not getting those quality offers from him. That's why he's still in a Houston Rockets uniform, just to make sure that from a repertorial perspective, I point that out. The other thing that I would say is this. When you talk about Ben Simmons in the fashion that you do, Max, it comes down to this. If you're the Philadelphia 76ers, is it a long-term view where it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and you're thinking about 3, 4, and 5 years down the road? Or are you talking about the Brooklyn Nets and what they are and what they're trying to be and how you're going to compete with them? Because I got news for you. Ben Simmons not having any kind of perimeter game whatsoever is not going to get it done for the Philadelphia 76ers when all is said and done. I don't give a damn how well he plays defense. There's no one on the planet Earth that can stop Kevin Durant, not even Ben Simmons. It ain't happening. Kevin Durant is flowing and he's healthy. You're not stopping him. He's still giving you 27 to 30 a night. You can book that. And so because of it, the way to offset it is to have such prolific firepower offensively that you pressurize an opposing offense by highlighting for them the inability or just being cautious enough not to make mistakes because you will pay a price. It's not that James Harden's going to give you the defense that Ben Simmons is going to give you. It's that his offense is so prolific, it puts more pressure on an opposing offense to be productive because you know this brother is coming. Now, to get to the point about off-court issues impacting Harden's trade value, we completely agree on that. We're totally on the same page. It has no effect, and here's why. Everyone knows what James Harden is doing. James Harden is a professional. Yeah, the lateness. Yeah, being, preferential treatment. We get all of that. But this brother plays hurt. He doesn't miss games. He doesn't engage in load management. He shows up and balls every single night. In that regard, he is a high-level professional. For him to act this way, it is clearly and flagrantly on purpose. He is doing this to bring attention to everyone and their mother. He does not want to be a Houston Rocket any longer. He wants out. And I don't want to call him the modern day T.O. or whatever when T.O. was trying to get out of his contract in Philadelphia, because that's what those push-ups were about in his driveway when Andy Reid sent him home and all of that other stuff. T.O. wanted a new contract. He wanted out of Philadelphia because Philadelphia made it clear they were not going to give it to him. And as a result, he was advised by Drew Rosenhaus essentially to act up to some degree to force his way out of Philadelphia. In this case, That's what James Harden is doing. He's trying to force his way out of Houston. He does not want to be a Houston Rocket. He wants out by any means necessary, and he is creating a headache because he knows that's the only way with 2 years left on his contract that he could possibly get his way. He's not that guy. He's not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. He's doing it on purpose because he wants out. Other teams know that, and if he fills their needs without